Welcome to our regular council meeting of February the 7th, 2011, and we're reconvening now in our council chamber. And I motion to adopt the minutes of our last regular meeting of City Council held on January the 24th, please.
Yes.
It's coming next. Do we have any unfinished business? Being none, I want to welcome back Mr. Gary Halwatuk. Thank you. Any new business? Now, I'd like someone to bring to the floor the UBE.
So moved.
Okay. Open for discussion, please.
Is it going to be read?
We'll
Yes.
read it, Your Worship.
Jim's going to read it, yeah.
Thank you, Your Worship. This is the resolution that was passed by Council to close the session on January 24th. It's being lifted from the table for to the public meeting. The resolution states that Translink's proposed United Boulevard Extension North Fraser Perimeter Road project development plan for January to March 2011 is outlined in the January 19th, 2011 letter from Mr. Jarvis, CEO, is not endorsed. Further, that Translink be reminded of Council's previous position on the matter taken on December 13th, 2010, and further that Translink be requested to submit further options for the City's consideration. Your Worship, I can report that we have conveyed Council's position on this matter to Translink, and they are resubmitting the work plan. Staff have received a further draft late last week, and we'll be bringing that forward to Council the next meeting, February 14th.
Thank you very much. Is there any discussion? Councillor Harper, please. With his Harper.
Thank you. I just want to remind people that because sort of issues come and go in terms of their intensity in the community, and this one was very intense in the last couple of months around the issues of the Burnett interchange and the T-section and the United Boulevard extension. And what this motion did, and what we're bringing into public, is the whole notion that this council is not going to be agreeing to any kind of program on that United Extension Boulevard unless the entire North Fraser Perimeter Road inside of New Westminster is addressed. And along with that, which is the same position we took before, and nothing's changed, is the notion that there perhaps could be some alternative options that Translink can put forward to us. And there was and has been some sort of bantered around different kinds of options, but I think it's incumbent on Translink, if they really want this project to go forward, to come and meet with our staff and bring forward options that they know that the city and the City Council can agree to. So I think it's a good step forward, and we're going to see how they respond. We're actually in the middle of negotiations here, and this is one of the pieces that's come into the public eye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor McIntosh, please.
So just to clarify, especially for Sapperton residents, we as a council have not had an option come forward. I've been hearing rumors that, oh yeah, Translink's put something else on the table. No, they have not. We have not agreed to anything. And it's been as far back as the North Fraser Perimeter Road was ever discussed, which is in excess of 10 years, that it was the whole route to be mitigated and the whole route to be done. And the most recent letter seemed as though Translink didn't understand that this council has made motion after motion after motion, the council in general, of the New Westminster City, that we're not doing it section by section. What got developed over at the bridgehead has been completed, but really it's not that efficient when you want to head from downtown over to Queensborough. I think the signage is really poor. There's no signage that tells people how to get from our downtown to our Queensborough. It's you go along and it's like, are you going to Delta or are you going to Richmond? And I don't often want to go to either. I just want to go to Queensborough. We brought that up years ago about getting the signage complementary to our neighborhoods. It's never happened, and they considered that a complete project. So if we looked at that project at the foot of 20th, and then we look at what could happen over in Sapperton, this council is unified and it's not happening. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Cote.
Thank you. Well, just to provide a bit more context to the resolution that's being released today, the federal government did give I guess a 3-month extension for the federal grant on this, which did prompt Translink to come back to council. There was some vague discussion about another option, but it really was not fully described, nor did Translink in any way address any of the issues that this council raised forward. So essentially what this motion is telling Translink is that we don't endorse them moving forward with this project with what they presented to us so far. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other speakers? Councillor McAvoy.
Thank you. I think that council is sending a few messages to Translink, and one of those is that being rushed is unacceptable to our community. We won't be rushed. And I made the comment when I attended that first Translink session at the Justice Institute that I was surprised to see in the documentation that it was proposed to do assessments on noise, the environment, traffic impact after the project had been improved, and then we'll try to understand the impacts afterwards. That's what happens when you're driven by these kind of situations where a federal grant is available to you now but not later. But I don't think we should accept that, and we're deciding not to accept it as a council. The due diligence needs to be done before anything happens. Regardless of whether there's money out there from other governments or not, we need to understand what happens with our community when something is done. The second is that we need good public consultation. And a lot of people don't know, including many people who attended the first session at the Justice Institute, that we had offered our resources to Translink, we had offered support from our staff, and we had offered advice on how to conduct good public consultation in New Westminster, and that advice wasn't taken. It wasn't the city that set up a consultation process and had some of the negative aspects to it or inadequate aspects to it that occurred. The city, in fact, made recommendations to Translink and offered support. And Translink went ahead and found that that was a mistake and then organized the larger meeting that occurred. The third is that the kind of impact on residential areas in New Westminster that we saw, in this case it was Sapperton, but really anywhere in the city, is that we're firm that in a city of 7 square miles, we don't really have that much more space to be taken up by larger governments or space where you have a major impact on a residential area next to a project. We just don't have the ability to accommodate that, and it's not fair to our residents. We don't have anywhere else to go. We got 7 square miles, and within those 7 square miles, we're trying to have a walkable, livable city, and we need the support of other government agencies and higher level of governments in achieving that, not bringing problems forward. The other comment I want to make is that the issues that are on the table aren't the only issues, and we're going to have the Patella Bridge issue come up at some point in the future. And we need to make sure that whatever happens works for our community, and that we don't wind up with access points at either end of the community and then something in the middle that just dumps more traffic on us anyway, when what we're trying to do is resolve the traffic issues and direct the traffic around the perimeters of the city. So those are just some comments that I wanted to make. And the last comment I want to make is that I hope that we'll continue to bring forward publicly as much as we possibly can. We have some legislated limitations when we discuss property issues in the city, but I think that given that some of this is already public in Coquitlam and the concerns in the community, that we continue to try to bring forward as much as possible when we can. And I know that I'm getting asked by a lot of people, what other routes are you guys looking at? Well, we're waiting for Translink. We're not looking at any other routes right now, but I think when Translink comes forward to us with some other possibilities, rather than have rumors out there, that we really want to talk to Translink too and try to have as much of this as possible be in the public arena so that people can respond and participate.
Okay. I thank you very much. I see no other speakers. We'll move along the agenda and